follows. And also be aware that, if you do happen to go live, which some of us on the call now have gone live and are making money, which is great, you can flip back to the demo account. And I spoke about this last week. I myself, when I'm about to do some trading, I will go into my demo account first, do 4 or 5, whatever trades, just to start to get a feel and a vibe of the market, how it's moving. And then I'll swatch, that's a new word, combined word. I'll flip over to my live account. So, right. Now, firstly, before we get into the actual stuff of this, I know we're all different stages, but I need, because there's only so much that I can talk about when it comes to this form of trading, because it is bloody simple. I don't mean that to say if anyone's still having issues with it, but this is really simple. So there's only so much that I can keep saying each week. I need to know more from and hear from you guys, troubleshoot what issues you're having, because I promise you, whatever issue you're having, there would be a few others that are doing the exact same thing, right? So I'm not going to be able to know unless you let me know. And then I guarantee you, because you're brave enough to ask the question, some others will have, you'll have the answers for them as well. So, does anyone have a question, having any issues right now? Please let me know. Let me know. Let's troubleshoot. Don't be afraid. And or if you're uncomfortable without talking out loud, just message me in the chat.
Hi, Don. It's Alison.
Hi. Alison, hey ho.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I know you're having a few little techno issues.
Oh my gosh, my technical issues. You know what I'm like with technology. But I just seem to I haven't been trading a lot lately. Life's just been crazy.
Yeah.
Just with everything reopening again down here and getting back to normal. But it was last week, so I probably hadn't traded for like 2 weeks, and when I opened my pocket options, it had reset itself. And I put all the indicators back up again. Then today I opened it up again and had done it again and reset up all the indicators again. It's just frustrating when you've got to do that every single time. It kind of just delays you when you've got limited time. I find that very frustrating. And I've just had a few issues with Liberty, as I mentioned today in the chat. I think just finding my feet with it, it's kind of, I think the change from TradingView to Liberty has just set me back a lot. Like I felt like I was starting to get ready to go live soonish, but now I'm looking at next year sometime at this point, because I feel like a duck out of water again. I feel like I'm starting from scratch.
Yeah, that's understandable. Firstly, obviously with the pocket options thing, like I said, I've only experienced that once. And that was very early in the piece. So it's very strange. We've already, we've done a few things with you when we were first setting up, and I know your firewall is super, super sensitive. So I think there's a security thing within your laptop, because I remember us having issues with so many things. So
Pocket options is on my iPad. So that's completely new to me, the iPad. So I'm going to have to try and work out what's going on there. Yeah.
Just understand though as well, like, just because there's a slight little deviation in the method in terms of like what's going on. Yes, we had initially, you came through learning TradingView. The reason why we made the switch, and for those who aren't aware, over to Liberty, one, it's already got pre-described indicators in there, and there's literally places where it says buy and sell, which helps take a lot of the guesswork out. Yes, it's a little bit frustrating in terms of the navigational side of things, but make sure you're using Google Chrome. For those who aren't aware, it just seems to work better with the Google Chrome. I know I'm not a huge fan of Chrome. Like I personally use Brave and things like that, more decentralized forms of internet browsers, but it just with this, it's just easy to use Chrome. And I've seen you, Alison, do trades. They've come up and you've done it. So there's a few people that are in the same boat. So this is not having a go at you, Alison, at all, because it's a few of us. It's here because the fact of the matter is, if you can do 3 trades and you get 3 trades right, I promise you, and yes, it confirms this as well, because I've seen some of the videos that you put through, right? You got 2 choices: to either listen to the negative voices and focus on what you can't do and what's not going right, the little technical things, which is very, very, very minute, or you can choose to focus on what is going right, what has been processing well, and the fact that you have sent trades, right? So don't just, and then by you also reaffirming the fact that, oh, it's just going to be next year now, I'm just going to throw it away, throw the towel in, right? Not that you actually haven't, because you still are applying, you're still showing up, but don't give in to that little voice just because one thing's not quite working or this little thing is not quite working. So as just we'll have more of a chat about that, and make sure. I want to see your computer as well, because you're having a lot of issues, and I don't really know why there should be that much for every single time for you to be logging out. It doesn't really make sense. So we'll touch more on that later, okay? But I appreciate you being on. Was there any other questions so far? Yeah, Jess, we'll do that for sure. Any other questions, concerns, queries? How are we going? Who's demo trading? Well, actually, I know I pretty much touch base with everyone, nearly everyone, except if you're brand new. Where are we at? Cool.
Dom,
Talk to me, mate.
Yeah, actually, pretty interesting. You just said on Liberty, the buy and sell markers come up, mate. When do those markers come up? Do they come up like in the 5-minute time frame? When do they actually come up? I mean, obviously they can't be super predictive and tell you exactly what to do, but so when do those buy and sell markers come up, mate?
Yeah, so there's a couple. So if you've got, I know I have this on my side screen, which doesn't help for those who are brand new. What I'll do is I'll just quickly navigate, because we've got some I'll just stop this for a second, but I'll answer your question and also bring it up on the side. But for those who aren't aware, what we're talking about is the Liberty platform. So when you log into your IM account in your back office, okay, and you click on the IM center, okay. So I'm just going to be doing that in the background here now and go log in. So you click those 3 lines which pop down the downward tab. I'm just going to share my screen now. Okay, hopefully it allows me to do this because I've logged on 2 computers. All right, so I've just clicked on those 3 icons. I've clicked IM Center. This opens up this. Now, if you're brand new, you'll be going through the Academy program, but instead of clicking Academies, okay, you're going to click Strategies. And this is what we use to showcase the indicators in the background. Now, if this logs me out, I'm going to be annoyed because you're not really supposed to be able to open it up on 2 laptops. Otherwise, they think you're using 2 people using 1 account. But, so here we go. If I get a warning, I blame all you guys. I'm kidding. All right, so here's Liberty here. And yes, it can be a little bit temperamental. I'm aware of that. So this is one thing I didn't mention. There's some big things coming to the whole indicator, like not just Liberty, because if you see all these icons down the side here, and for those who have enrolled, you know how there's all those different add-ons that you can buy. That's essentially what a lot of these add-ons are. There's like the harmonic scanner, there's all these different things that basically they can be like indicators, as well as just apps that will sometimes send you signals and send you trade ideas, etc. For me personally, I don't like that, because I want you to actually learn the skill and be able to read and interpret the market yourself. It just logged me out of 1 account on that side, so it looks like we're staying on this one now. All right. Let me just 1 sec. So, and also it's just extra money that you're spending per month, like as it is, not that the fees are massive, but for people with different circumstances, you know, a couple of $100 a month can be quite a lot. So I don't want you to have those extras. I want you to be able to learn just with what's already pre-described, because I've been able to do it and a lot of my guys have. So as you can see already here, man, Dom, just to answer your question, like they're here. So this is on, I've logged in and it's already showing. Now this is obviously on the 1 hour. Now, so you know, that's the bottom one, which is Web Slinger, okay? Because there's 3 different strategies. Now I get usually people to go on Simple Scalper, which is the first one, just because of, and I know it can do that sometimes, which is a little bit annoying, but this is because it only seems to happen on my 1 computer. And, you know, this is obviously very bearish, this particular pair that we're looking at right now, which is GP, Great British Pound to USD. So that's just falling. So as you can see, heaps of indicators that are just saying sell, 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 sell. So that pops up on that one. It just doesn't have all your other indicators down here, but just be aware there is this. Now, these are, again, slightly lagging indicators. So it's important that you be patient with this, and they can sometimes be incorrect, but you know, as we can sort of see from all these indications here, maybe just this one here, the vast majority of them are pretty much correct. Like that one said sell, but we came up. So, but you know, 99 or 95% of them are correct, which is that one. Now, for the guys that have been on pretty much every single call, I'm going to spend the back end of the call just doing some live demo trades if I can, if the opportunities present. To those, I said it before, but I don't predominantly trade during this time frame. So for me personally, my ideal window to trade is between 2 to say 6 p.m. in the afternoon, because it's less volatile. At night, it's very volatile because you have the major exchanges, London and New York openings. And so they're obviously 3 times the size of your Sydney and your Tokyo. So essentially a hell of a lot more money is moving through the markets. So you get crazy movements in price action. And because we're dealing with the 1 minute time frame, essentially like you might see a chance to get in and you wait for that confirmation, it just runs, or you just it's just a lot harder for me based on the way that I've learned. Whereas during the day, it just tends to move and you get nice movements bouncing between the Bollinger Bands. Again, for guys that are brand new, a lot of this stuff's going to go a little bit over your head. So make sure that you're watching the video that I've made. I made a brand new video that walk through of how to get set up as well, making sure you're in all the groups, as well as Discord, which is something that I'm going to need to make sure everyone is in, because I know not everyone is, but we have a Discord group, which is going to have a HFX tab, plus all the other stuff that we have in there as well for smart money concepts, which is just a different method of trading, which I do the both. And I do believe that you should, once you've learned HFX and you're making some capital and you're making some good returns, then you should start learning the smart money concept way, because it is just a good balance of the both. Okay, so but we'll talk more on that in the weeks to come.
Just before you finish there, Dom, sorry mate, just getting back to this Liberty screen, so these buy and sell markers, so I guess the question was how quickly do they come up in regards to you being able to follow that signal and then make a trade?
Yeah mate, they tend to pop up like relatively fast.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, we don't want to rely on them. That's why, you know, with the smart money concept way of trading, they don't use any indicators. It's just purely about able to read the charts and read the candles. Now, for me, that's one thing that I'm pretty grateful for, because it's helped me when I see a candle print and see something take place, I can react quicker than when the indication comes on, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, if we're looking here, like I'll just sit it here on the 1 minute and we'll wait to see one pop up and give it an example. But if we're looking at these last couple here, they're really good. I just don't want reliance on it, because you can see, like, for example, this one here said sell, and then we've just gone up and it's gone up against, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want that reliance on there. What I need to see is, what is the candle doing? So I'm going to harp on it again. I harped on it a lot last week, but candle structure, the way a candle looks, will always beat any kind of indicator, because indicators are lagging. So if we look at this particular candle, which I know I spoke to you about before, Dom, as well, like this spinning top candle. So essentially you got a wick to the upside, wick to the downside, a little bit of body in the middle. This shows me that, well, in reality, and because we had also had a wick to the downside before on this one, so it's trying to push down. It's pushed down once, rejected, pushed down twice, rejected. So therefore I can see that we are more than likely going to make a bounce. And then we did, bang, it's come up. Yet it showed a sell sign. So we don't want to have that reliance on that, but it just helps with extra confirmation. If you can understand the candle, for example, you know, we hit the top of the Bollinger Band, we came up, then the next one's come up, tried to go once more. So that candle's come up, and then it's back down, but then printed a massive engulfing candle. For those who don't know, an engulfing candle is where this candle is bigger than the previous candle printed. That helps indicate generally that there's a swing in momentum and a swing in price action, as long as we're up towards the top of the Bollinger Band, and we also have those other indicators that are showing. So that's an engulfing candle. You know, there wasn't a really a strong retracement. There's your ideal retracement, because generally what I like to see is an engulfing candle. The next candle print comes up to around that, what we call the golden pocket, which is 50% to 80% retracement, which is what that candle, that wick did there on the next one. And as we can see, then bang, massive fall off. So you could have easily got in for a sell there. Plus we got our sell indicator, which was actually in some extra confluence as well. So what I have for most people at the moment, because it doesn't have the buy and sells, just to throw people off, because I don't want that reliance on it, is I go to the different strategy, which is the simple scalper, right? And this has some more indicators on here, which gives us some more confluence. So if we were looking at that same indication, I wonder if I can find that. Although that was it. No, I was looking at GBP USD, wasn't I? That's
what I've got on my screen now.
You're on the 1 hour too, Dom.
Yeah, no, I'll flip that around. Thank you, mate. I just want confluence. I want to go back to where I was before, just to give that as a good example, because that one was a good example. Here we are here. that that one there? Was it GBP? It was GBP USD, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, because our other indicator didn't have, it has Bollinger Bands on there, but they're set to a different setting. So although you can still see the setup there, it doesn't normally correlate to what we're looking for in that particular motion, but I can still give you an idea based on what we're seeing here. So these, for the newies, these are work as indicators that just basically prescribe price action movement. And what we see is this red line here. When the line goes above this red line, that means we are overbought. So there's too much buying pressure and a correction needs to take place. And we need to see a sell off in price action. So generally, like if we look at back testing, have a look at how many times it comes up here. Once, twice, nick there, nick there. As you can see, it only spends a very small, minute amount of time there. Same to the downside here. I spent a little bit longer here, but that was from that massive sell-off, all right? But a little bit time. And then same with this one here, all right? One's an RSI, one's stochastic RSI, stochastic oscillator. So same sort of thing here. So what we like to see is three things happen for this bare simple explanation. We like to see a penetration of the Bollinger Band, which is up here where price comes up. And ideally, not so much a wick. If we can see like a closed candle, which is this one, where we see a big close and there's a nice full candle, no wicks, no real wicks. And then we look here, we are oversold, we've pierced the Bollinger Band, we are, sorry, not oversold, overbought. And then what happens there? We can see a strong sell away. This line starts to fall down. There's a good opportunity actually, but even though it wasn't an engulfing candle, we still can see things take place. There's a little retracement, 50% retracement. For me personally, because it wasn't an engulfing candle, I wouldn't want to get in, but this is just to show you an example as what we're looking for to a certain degree, right? And there's your retracement wick and then a sell off. And if you got in just to a 1 minute trade, you would have cleared that easily, okay? And then just based on this one here, again, wouldn't have gotten in live because it didn't pierce the Bollinger Band, but we can see same thing, an engulfing candle, a retracement to that 50 to 80%, and then a strong sell-off. But again, I wouldn't have gotten in because we didn't really get oversold and we just don't want to rush things. So if we're just going on to our pocket option, so we can see with this, the Bollinger Band's a little bit more thicker just to be able to see. So essentially when I go to set up, I come on here and obviously look at what are paying the most. The percentages are based on what pays the most out of 100%. So for $10, I'll get $8.70. That's what that means for 87%. So I don't personally trade anything under 80%. So just looking at, so I'll come on here, click a pair, and if we can see through back testing, it very rarely hits the Bollinger Band. And when it does, that's when we get the swing down, okay? Hit the Bollinger Band, fell down. Hit the Bollinger Band, fell down. So these just basically, I'll flick through all my pairs and see, okay, well, right now we can see that this particular one has hit the Bollinger Band. So now this is like I just sit and watch, right? It's CAD CHF, not an ideal one again, because CHF is the Swiss franc, which is not a huge liquidity mover. It tends to move a little bit slower, which you can see based on all these candles, like real little candles. And you'll begin to learn which are the majors and which are the minors, which are the exotics, which pump more liquidity through, which move faster. That's why it's important to demo trade and have a bit of a practice if you are live trading and see how things are moving. Now, if we're watching this live, we can see, okay, there's potentially an engulfing candle, but we don't know. Now, this is why I don't like using one computer, because I've got to go and change this. So I'd already have that done in here. Okay, CHF on 1 minute, because by the time I've gone and flick this, sometimes you lose your opportunity. Now, if we see to the side here, this countdown is how many seconds are left in this 1 minute candle. So I want to see a printing of an engulfing candle, which it's going to be close. It's pretty close. So there's a good example there, but we have flipped bullish. So we are moving up and moving up quite fast. There's a move to, oops, press the wrong one. There's a move to the downside. We're starting to see this. Now, these are similar indicators to what we had in the other one. Okay, so they are now starting to fall down, which is same with above and below, just like what we looked at before. Okay, wrong one. This is going to run, and this is why I don't like having two screens, because you can't react as quickly. Not having two screens. So now see how this is really quite running, but we've bounced off the EMA. So this has moved, which is confirming a downward move. If I can get a little bit of a retracement here, so essentially a slight up candle, but continue its downward move, then that would be ideal. if I'm trading this live, I actually personally, based on this one starting to move down, I would have just entered the trade. But again, flicking back and forth is very frustrating. Now seeing this one take place, as you can see, this is already ran. So when we see this black line begin to cross into this area here, same with here, this is a really good time to get in on the trade, because it was an engulfing candle. Now we didn't get the retracement candle, that's fine. But when we see this really angle down like that has gone down, below 45-degree angle, it's fallen, means there's very strong selling pressure. So that one was where I would have gotten in. Now seeing it now, what's happening, I'm just gonna put that there because I keep flicking through. We will make a decision here on the EMA, which is this white line is it's like an estimating moving average. So this can act like a support and resistance. So this can act like a Bollinger Band. And as you can see here, we've got a little bit of a bounce. So this should be a retracement candle. Now, because it has already moved, I'm just going to reduce my time, because this can bounce as support. As we see, we've hit it here and hit it here. So I personally, I would have already entered that just so we're aware, but I like where this is. Seeing on here, as we can see now, for those who we've got to push down, but it rejected off, push down, rejected off. These now just plateaued, so we're hitting some consolidation, but they have now angled back up, just so you can understand how to read these indicators and what it is that we're looking for. We have had the dot flip, which essentially works out as like, are we to the bullish or are we to the bearish movement? Now it's making a decision point, rejecting off there. It's a bit of a doji candle. Still got the selling price action. Now, obviously activated to sell. Do I like it? Not 100%, because personally for me, I'm doing this. I'm just showing it because obviously we've just followed through with this. Shouldn't say don't do this, because this is a bit more advanced, because we know that that's a retracement candle coming back up to this area. Whether it clears, like it's going to be super close. Yeah, so that one wasn't ideal there. So this is showing you what can happen when you don't react to that speed. So if we see, as I said here, this is where I ideally would like to have gotten in for that trade. Let's go to another pair here. Again, I don't like this nighttime biz, and that's bounced up. So see what else is happening. I hope that made sense though, what it is.
What are those dots on Liberty there, Dom?
Sorry?
What are those dots on Liberty?
They work as like the opening position, like support and resistance almost. So as you can see, we were trending up, so we're trending bullish. So those indicated that we are bouncing off from these areas, which is the same thing. So when they flip to the down upside, so that's like, as we can see with this one, we had that engulfing candle, the dot flipped. So there is a really good, that's where I would have gotten in. And as we saw, that's 1 minute. And then we had the 2 minute when it moved down to here. So that would have been ideal for that one. Sure. Let's see what else we got here. And it didn't help that trade, pretty much all broke even. So AUD, USD. Come on. My little Surface Pro hates doing all this at once. Streaming, recording, having all the indicators open at the same time. Oops. So here's the move again, strong sell-off. It wasn't quite an engulfing candle. There would have been a really good opportunity. So that retracement, again, because I'm flicking between the two screens, that little retracement there for a short sell-off would have been really good for an opportunity for a trade. This one's moving a little bit faster because it's AUD USD. It's a higher moving pair. But we just need to see what happens and takes place here. Well, here's just going off the back testing though here. Have a look at this one. This is a really good one based on candles. So we can see that, well, really in both moves, but I like this one better. See that massive wick to the downside. So price try to push down here, push down here, push down here, and then it's come back up. It was an engulfing candle technically because that one is engulfing that one, right? And then we've ran, there's your little 50% retracement back there. Bang, 1 minute trade, and that one would have cleared. But because we were bearish at that time, right, this is why I reduced my times. But you can sort of see with nighttime, with the more volatile market, because when an opportunity presents, we've only got that shorter time, 2 to 3 minutes, okay, as you can see there, because it then hit the EMA, which is the white line, which is acts as support in this particular instance, because we are now heading down, and it's gone up, hit off that 2 or 3 times before we actually got the confirmation breakthrough, and now we've flipped bullish. What tends to happen during the day is, which is why I prefer it more, is you get this, so up, and then you'll have 16, 17 candles that go to the bottom, and then it goes 16, 17 up, down and up and down. You get a lot more consolidation movement as opposed to nighttime, which is you get, 30 minutes of just upward movements, bang, right? Tends to be a bit more like this throughout the day, but slightly wider and a lot easier to anticipate the movements. So moving forward, that's obviously still continue to run. Moving forward, for myself, Thursday nights will no longer be viable for these calls, just because of footy training starts back up here. So I'm just going to confirm, because I know we're doing a lot of calls at the moment for the guys that are part of all the different groups and all the different trading platforms. So more than likely it's going to look like it'll be Wednesday. It probably will clash with one other call, but unfortunately it is what it is, because Monday's a really crappy day to trade because it's opening of the markets. Friday's a closing day. Doesn't tend to be a nice day to trade for me. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are my main trading days. And yeah, so we'll just wait and see, and it'll need to be a little bit earlier. I'd like to try to get on a little bit earlier. I know it won't be able to be for everyone because of work commitments, etc. Kids, but I'm trying to get through that earlier time slot so I can do some more trading that simulates myself. Rejection a week. AUD USD. Do I have that open up still on here? Yes, cool. Not an engulfing candle, but just watching things take place. Because sometimes you don't need your engulfing candle. You can just have from market rejecting off. And so what I do notice is with the nighttime, if you are a nighttime trader, and just looking now, because, again, this is some of the things that I'd be doing if I was going to be sitting down to trade, is I can see we're not really getting those retracement candles. This is why testing is important, and I still do it, even though I know how to trade, right? Those last 3 occasions, we didn't get a retracement candle. It's just ran, right? So now that's going to show to me now moving forward that I'm going to need to react a little bit faster, and basically based off the first one, going in on the next candle instantly, okay? So be aware of that. It's just test piloting, all right? So seeing how this one prints, and there's your jump up. If anyone else sees anything too, if you're just flicking through stuff, please let me know. So that one's just really busted up. And what I'm doing here, for those who are not aware, I've just changed my time. So when you first come onto pocket options, it'll look like this, and this is how many minutes. M1 means minutes, but it goes by the market clock. I don't particularly like that. I just found I was losing the trades more often than winning them because of that. So I clicked that, which basically prescribes me exactly 1 minute for that one. That's wanting to run. And again, that's a good example there of not rushing in, and why, even though this is quick and fast money, you still got to be patient. You can't sit down and just get a trade straight away, because if we'd gone in off this and gone in for a sell, you can clearly see that you would have lost that trade. Now, it's important also to zoom out. And one thing I haven't mentioned as well, where is price heading? So we can sort of see here, this was our last previous high, okay, up here. So this is where we're trending towards now. So that's why it's important to look out. And what I tend to do as well, okay, with Liberty, is I flip between the 1 and the 5 minutes. So I come on here and I go 5 minutes, right? because I need to see, is there more room to grow? And this is what we look at, right? As you can see here, we're nowhere near the Bollinger Band, right? So on this, we obviously shows that we're going to spend a bit of time riding the Bollinger Band because there's still so much more room to grow. And I did forget to mention that at the start. So what was our last previous high? Well, we've got equal highs here on the 5 minute. So this is going to be an area where, and I can draw on this. So I come on here and draw that this is, of course, that's going to sit right where I want to put that. Okay, here, just make this a little bit bigger. Got equal highs, which is an area of interest to see where we need to come to. So when I will predominantly keep this on the 5 minute, just so I can see where does price need to go. Because this is now where I know price wants to head towards. And it's going to do, because we didn't create a lower low, which is here. So this was our previous low. Now we've created a higher low, shows that we're going to have more buying pressure to the upside. Okay. Now you can, more advanced traders will realize this and buy this up continuously, right? But I don't want you to do that just yet. I want you to follow price and see how things move so far. So if I can get confluence basically on the 5 minute, so if I'm looking at a pair and say, for example, that one was sitting already at the Bollinger Band and the 1 minute sitting at the Bollinger Band, which will often happen especially during the day, that is bang, that's my ideal setup. And we're going to absolutely go to the races with that one. So just seeing where we are now with the rest. AUD CAD, Euro USD, and any questions or things you're concerns about, just feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, Dom, I've got a question. The Keltner Channing, what have you got set up there with your Bollinger Bands? You got your moving average in there as well. What do you got there?
They're not on, mate. They're not on there.
Oh, they're off. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're turned off. They're just ones that I just saw through just a trial, but I didn't really like them, but I've just kept them there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because what's your Bollinger Band set at then? Is it at 3 points or?
Good question. So I've shown on that on previous calls, but on the setting, it's 20 and 2 for inputs.
20 and 2. Yeah, okay. Yep. And someone else later said that Euro JPY was overbought on both 5 and 1.
Oh, sorry, because I'm sharing screen, I didn't see. Cheers, Nada. Euro JPY, where's, oh, I've got them on right now. Cool. Sweet.
And just on that, Dom, as well, like I've been sort of looking at when the stochastic oscillator, like when the lines cross over, that's sort of a bit of a indicator as well. But
yeah,
as you're looking at now, it looks, when it's going up, it's pretty choppy. And it's those little candles at the top on the 1 minute. It's not the best price action, but it might take off. But.
No, not ideal. So like this one here is really good. This is like a great example. So what he meant there, just so people are aware, for the crossover on the oscillator here, you know, you can see when we were trending, say up, for example, we had the blue line, which means buying pressure. So blue means we're going up. So, you know, for me, I need to change those colors. That changed for me for some reason. Things are heading up. And then when we got that crossover, which we can see here, blue was on top, and the crossover, then the red flipped. So it's a cross of on the oscillator. Then we can see also with the touch of the Bollinger Band engulfing candle, it just ran, and that would have been a really good selling opportunity there as well. So 5 minute, good. We're around that same price. This is an example, as Nate said, we were at the top of the Bollinger Band on the 1, at the top of the Bollinger Band on the 5. We're rejecting off. We've got, you know, 3 or 4 highs. We did take the high there on the 5. So that would have been a great opportunity there for a quick sell as well. But we can see that it would need to be a short time frame, just because the EMA has worked as support here in this particular instance. So we've bounced off it once, twice, technically 3 times, and looks like there again. So I appreciate that, man. I should have seen that chat a little bit earlier. Sorry.
Oh, that's all good. Like, and that's something I'm getting like a little bit confused about as well. I've just got to really watch that middle line and watch it price bouncing off that, acting as support, because as I said, I probably would have got in that for a 1 minute and wouldn't have turned out that good. So yeah, it's just a process, isn't it? Trial and error.
Obviously, so for those, Nate has been trading for a while now as well, almost as long as I have. So that EMA, though, for the more advanced traders, that can become a point for a buying position as well. So like, for example, that rejection, that wick that came down and it rejected off. Awesome. That shows that there's price rejection and it doesn't want to push down. Bang. You know, that was an awesome buy there. Right. And then same here with the secondary one there, long wick down, going in for a minute, would have cleared that easily as well. Looking at what's happening now, you know, we've had a wick push down. And what I've found as well is trading with the trend at nighttime tends to work a lot better. So trading with the trend means obviously we're trending up. So we want to continue that upward motion, because I've had a few people ask that, like, obviously, if you know it's going up, why don't you buy it? And, you know, in reality, yes, you still can. It's just that it's a bit more like advanced form of trading. So I don't want to confuse you. And or rather you look for these real simple setups where it's penetrating the Bollinger Band, and then we get that retracement candle, which happens a lot more during the day. Anything else? There's questions wise. What's the time? I'm conscious I don't like these to go too long. I know I've only done one trade, which is not ideal, but like I said, I don't predominantly like trading this time. What I will do as well for next week is I said this last week, I've been so busy this week, is do a recording for myself trading during my time frame, and I'll obviously record that. I'll voice over as I go, talking about what it is I'm looking for, how I'm going about it, how they progress, and I'll post that on my YouTube for you to watch and back test. That'll help as well, and look at and reaffirm. That one's already gone.
Do you watch the time, Dom, on the hour, half hour for a swing?
Yeah, so that's a good question as well. So that's one thing you'll see. So round hours. So 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, especially opens and closes of exchange markets is really important. So daylight savings screws me around because it's changed in America as well. But it used to be 11 o'clock, which is why I don't ever trade that late, but some people might be. But that's the opening of New York. So that means London and New York is open. So there's a lot of volatility, and you'll see crazy movements to the upside or the downside for the hourly close. So what I tend to like to do is just on the hour. Half an hour doesn't seem to react as much. It does a little bit, but on the hour definitely is where I'll try to avoid. Or, you know, I know Joey's done it a few times as well. You'll get a huge push up or downside 5 minutes before, so you can follow that and trade with it up. I personally recommend just making sure you do shorter time frames with that one, because it goes pretty quickly, but letting it set up after the hour. All right, see if I can get one more in here. So I do like doing this. So that's fallen away. That's fallen away. It's fallen away. That's not a good paying pair. So this is an interesting one here. So we obviously had the pierce of the Bollinger Band came down. We had the engulfing candle. We have had 3 candles that have tried to push down here, and there's your movement candle there as I'm talking it through. It's also hard for me to trade whilst I'm trying to explain my analysis at the same time, but you know, I don't like it because it's got 4 or 5 candles, but just sort of understand how we can see some setups as well. So essentially the candles come down there once or twice for that retracement candle. So if we'd seen that one come down, this one doesn't really matter, but this one here coming through to that 50%. And then if it rose, that would have been a great opportunity for a buy, because you know that's going to move up if we have the indicators. But this is why I don't like pocket options. If you have a look right now, okay, and it's why I have reliance on Liberty and we don't just watch pocket options, because that has moved up, right? We've had a lot of this trending up, but clearly we're not trending up. It's going sideways. So I don't like the indicators. They're just for extra confirmations. Just, again, they lag a little bit, as you can see there. It's just fallen away. God. A lot of them just moving sideways. Look at that. 3 or 4 just off the pierce of the Bollinger Bands and then just dripped away, as opposed to a nice aggressive fall. And this is one thing you'll notice as well, just through what's why demo trade. If you have a look at all these particular trades, they've been just these last few pairs that are paying the most. You see 4 or 5 really crappy candles and then fall away. That one, where I was looking at the other one, again, 4 or 5 crappy candles before falling away. Similar sort of motion. So this is really interesting, but some nights are just not really good trading nights. So for me, if I was looking to trade this, I'm looking at this, I'm like, no, I'm sitting down. I'm not going to worry about trading. I'll come back in an hour if it was a little bit earlier, or just not look to trade today. Very important. Don't try to find opportunities, because otherwise, yeah, both of the Nader will know this as well. You end up not being in a good position. Does anyone else want to ask any questions?
Yeah, definitely, Don. Definitely agree with that. That's 100%. I was going through that last week, and definitely learned from that. Not all days are a good trading day, man. So when I find the next day when I do come back, I'm focused on bringing the best version of myself to the charts, and I get a better reaction emotionally, and the mental capital is really good as well. So yeah, I couldn't agree with that more, man. 100%.
Yeah. Do you want to touch on anything, mate, with how you're finding, obviously being a bit more advanced with the trading, but just how you're finding it so far?
Yeah, I'm finding it really good, but it's just weeding out the bad habits like being impulsive, and obviously the charts move a lot quicker on the 1 minute and 5 minute, but it really helps using smart money concepts as well. Like I'm really looking for mitigations and all that sort of stuff. But it's just getting used to the indicators and getting used to Liberty as well, because as you say, profit options lags, and when I'm swapping back from Liberty to this, I've set up another screen now, so I've got 3 screens. That has been a game changer. But apart from that, I'm just sort of getting used to it. My strike rate's not the highest. I think it's, I don't know, I'm in about a good 3 out of 5. Yeah, suddenly if I find I've had a bad day or anything like that, that really does affect me emotionally on the charts as well, because then the losses come in and I get in my own way. So really just having that break and just keep bringing yourself, the best version of yourself, to the charts. Just keep resting up, and if you're having bad days, just rest that mind and come back focused. It's just about coming back focused. That's all it is, because as you said, this is really simple, it's really easy, and you just got to recognize that, I guess. So yeah, it really is 90% psychology and 10% analysis. It really is. It's just getting that consistency in the process.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. I completely agree with that. You've done a lot of the psychology calls, and they're on Tuesday night for those who are new, who aren't aware. Now, I did that as an example of what not to do, and I promise you there's a reason for that. I wanted to show you. So what I see a lot of people do, right, is when things are trending down like that, especially so consistently, it's like down, down, down. I'll see it very often, right? It's like down here, they see a setup, they go to buy and they lose the trade. So then they go in for a sell and then lose that trade, right? That's one thing that we do not want to do, because you're going against what it is that you're being taught, right? And so make sure you're not chasing that loss on there. But if we are looking at this particular one, right, there is an area here where we need to get a reversal, but watching, see on the 5 minutes, so the 1 minute we're grinding the Bollinger Band. On the 5 minute, we still got a little bit of room to grow. So this is why, again, come back to the 5 minute to see, because if we saw off that, we're like, no, well, why don't we go in for a buy right now, because it's there. But, and then as Nader said here with the crossover, we're waiting for that crossover to take place. We're very much oversold. This is our previous low, which is where we're looking at, where we want to make a reaction from. In smart money concept, this is our institutional candle. So the last down before the upward move. Okay, that broke the previous high, albeit not fully broke it. Okay, so that was that previous high, which was here, which is here, which actually you can see that we're going to probably break this particular movement. All right. Any other questions there, Dom?
What have you got on your 3 screens there, Nate? It's interesting to find out, mate.
I have one for Liberty.
Yep.
And I have a pocket options, both pocket options for 5 minute and 1 minute. That way I'm seeing everything in one go. Or I have a video going. I have one of Evan's videos going, and I'll just be looking over on the pocket options, having Liberty going. So that's been a big help. But before that, it was just really swapping between it. And as Don demonstrated before, you can really miss moves. You've got to be pretty quick. So yeah,
right. 5 and 1. Yeah, that's definitely something I've been looking at doing. Definitely.
Well, because obviously, this is showing the one. So I'm currently on the 1 minute here, and then Liberty is the 5 minute. So then that's got that same confluence, as opposed to having like a third thing of trading view open. Now, for those who aren't aware as well, just so I can quickly show it. There's the Go Live platform here. So it's on, which is what Nada was talking about with the, let me just go here for a second. Very slow, very slow. Go so when you go to the IM center, sorry guys, I know this is really slow. And some people are just making their way through the academies, that's fine. But once you've made your way through it and you followed the blueprint, you've looked at the previous videos we had here, you go click on to go live. This is important. Now, yes, I trade, but I definitely do not make the same kind of coin that these guys do, being all 7-figure traders, and they'll actually share their live account, do some live trades with you. And let me just see. So in here, you'll scroll down, obviously click HFX, and these are our live educators. So Nada just mentioned about Evan. He speaks in a lot of the videos through the Academy program. So if he was live right now, he would be playing, which he's not. These guys are the ones that are live. But when you click on here, he's got his live analysis, live analysis, live analysis. That's really important to jump onto. Now here, if you happen to not miss, if you happen not to jump on live, there is pre-records. Doesn't help if he's doing live analysis and you're not on there live, because obviously they'll be late, but still good to come and check and see his previous. Now he doesn't, they don't show their brokers, but they'll just show their charts, okay, and show their markups, and they'll call like, all right, I'm buying now, I'm selling now. And if you have any questions, you can come on here and you can type and ask the questions. That'll play automatically if they are live. That's one person to look at. And also look through their favorite sessions as well. Some really good understanding, especially the compound interest, how to actually compound, which is important through this method. This is a really important video. It's one in the Academy program, but it's something to relook over just to make sure you don't skim over it, because there's some people that have no problem winning trades, but if you're not compounding properly and you're just doing a $10, you make $8, $10, make $8, $10, make $8, as opposed to $10, make $8, then going again with $18. You're going to grow your trading profit a lot faster. Still, you can have a super risky trade plan. So we literally just keep reinvesting your profit. But obviously, if you get one wrong, you're going to be losing all your profit. So for me personally, I don't do that unless the market's moving really well and I've gotten 3 or 4 in a row, bang, bang, bang. I'm happy with it. I like tonight, an example. No, there's no way. And I don't normally trade this time anyway, but taking a little bit. So obviously profiting, for example, that first one. So first trade's $10, you win $8, fantastic. Then maybe going with 16, at least you're pocketing some profit as you go, as an example. But everyone's got different needs and wants when it comes to trading and what it is they're looking for, whether they're replacing a job income or they're just making some money on the side. So you will know your best method of that. Okay. So the other person as well is, they're all really quite good. They all just have slightly different methods. That's one thing just to take into consideration. But also the joint ones here of Dr. Josh Lee and Brandon Boyd, Master the Skill. They're really good, and they've got some really good pre-recorded favorite sessions that I strongly recommend, talking about especially Liberty and going through the scanners and going through the different methodologies of what it is that we're looking for. There was that bounce on the 5-minute, which I bloody was waiting for to show you guys. Let's just refresh.
Evan was on the other night, actually, Dom.
Did you jump onto a live?
Yeah. I caught the last bit of it. It was really interesting, and then he said his first 6 videos are probably one of the most important videos that you could sit and watch. So scroll down through his videos, find his first 6. So I'm going to sit and watch those.
That in his favorite sessions, he said that for his
yes.
favorite, his first. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just show that so then we're aware, because I was just in there. So Evan, cool. Favorite sessions. These will be also in the blueprint. So we're just in the process of finalizing the blueprint for HFX. I've recorded the video which explains that we're actually going to have a PDF document that actually has links to these. Oh, well, not so much these, because these you have to go in there and find them, but they'll have the dates, because you can search by date. But here we are in his first year.
Yeah, see those first, first 6 there. Yeah.
I'm assuming it means these ones here.
Yeah.
Which is going to help you understand a hell of a lot more. So now they'll have a few extra indicators. The reason being why is because a lot of these, all these educators have all the extra, not just Liberty, they have all of them, which is why they have a lot more different indicators on there. But I personally know that you don't need those. All right. Now, for the sake of time, because it is 5-2, I'm gonna have to bounce. I do apologize that we didn't see a couple of trades, but hopefully you still got enough out of that. And as I said, I'll aim to record tomorrow some live analysis during my normal time slots, just to be able to show you. But still doesn't mean you can't practice with this. And like, this is a great example because I do still get trades wrong, and I clearly have tonight with that one that I got wrong. Well, technically two, but I was showing you that other one way, not what not to do. And yeah, so for me, I'd be like, yep, cool, no worries. This is where you have that mindset to just step away, come back in an hour's time, half an hour's time, get a fresh mind and reassess. Okay. So I appreciate you all for being on. Again, sorry about that, but it is what it is. The mark has a mind of its own thing. Cool, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Confirm as well for next week what we're going to do, all right, with our next lot of trading calls, possibly on Wednesday, but I'll message on the chat. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.